You don't know what the salary cap's going to be. That's what we're waiting to find out. Not the salary cap, but you know what I'm talking about. And how many
the luxury tax.
The luxury tax. They don't want to go too far over the luxury tax. You got to pay Judge. If Freeman is $30 million a year, Judge is going to want $35 million a year at least. And Hal Steinbrenner has already come out and said he wants Judge on this team.
Well, here's the funny thing about it. The Yankees haven't won a World Series since 2009.
Mm-hmm.
2009. Okay? We're coming up on 13 years without a World Series here. You do what you have to do to win one. You can't just sit back. I mean, enough. Tampa has maybe a third of the payroll on the high end.
Mm-hmm.
And they're competitive every single year because they got a bunch of guys that are 6'8" that throw 98 to 100 miles an hour, and they pitch them one inning each. And
isn't that telling you something that maybe you need to do something different with the structure of your organization?
Yeah, but you can't rebuild your entire farm system that quickly. I mean,
not that quickly, but you can do it.
You want to wait 5 years?
No, I still want to pay a couple of guys.
Listen, we got to pay guys and rebuild the farm system at the same time, which means that you really got to hold off on the trading of the guys that you pick up. The 1 year we were out of it was the best year we ever had because we brought – not that Glaber had a good year last year. Right. But we brought back Chapman the year after. We rented him. We got Glaber already. I mean, we had a young nucleus. Judge started to come into his own, and all of a sudden the Yankees went from 1 year of, being really disappointing to we're right back.
Right.
And you have to do that. You have to trade some guys for some high level prospects from time to time. It's not bad business. It was actually great business for them.
Right.
The Mets are another enigma because they sit there in the middle.
Yeah.
They sign a couple guys, but never enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they go out of their way to try to pretend they're hanging around at the deadline. They don't really give up on anybody, but they don't get anybody really good either. And they don't improve the farm system, nor do they really improve the everyday club.
Right.
It's kind of like, all right, someone's got to, because the talent at Citi Field is pretty good in a lot of spots. It really is.
Right.
Well, they're going to come out every day, every fifth day with Scherzer. I mean, that's good. I mean, that's really good.
Your opening day starter for the Mets, Jacob deGrom or Max Scherzer?
If he's healthy, it's deGrom.
Okay.
He's your guy. To me, you start the homegrown guy, but that's me. Right. I mean, listen, the Yankees aren't going to. They're going to start Cole, and I get that. But you're excited to see if Severino's back this year and able to kind of go.
I hope so.
If he's not, it's going to be a long year, Right. And, when you look at the Mets, their 1-2 is better than anybody's 1-2.
Is that lingerie that's sticking up on the mirror over there? Did you and your wife have a crazy night last night? Or
I'm trying to – that's a hat, but it's a Jets hat. It's a winning hat. Yes, we hung from the chandeliers as my daughter woke up at 3 a.m. playing the piano and banging around. It was a blast. It was great. Then the dog started barking at 4:15 to go out. My wimpy pit bull, I have to kick him in the side, but then he's afraid to go down to go pee, so I have to go outside with him. It's like 30 degrees.
Right.
And I have to walk outside. So I was like, it's 8:15 in the morning. So I was more mad at the dog than the kid. But anyway.
That's what's different. That's the difference. I came down the stairs at 3:15 as I was getting ready for work. And I was like, I didn't see that lump in the middle of the living room when I went to bed. So I got to clean up dog crap before I went to work. It was nice.
Doesn't get any better than that.
It does not get any better than that. Speaking of better than anything, fantasy football. We are 2 weeks away in our league from our playoffs starting. Still extremely tight.
Well, you and I are tied in that 4th, 5th, 6th spots, right? I'm in 5. You're in 6.
I'm 7 and 5.
I'm 7 and 5 also.
So the number one teams, it's 8-4 and 7-5. That's
we have 6 teams that are separated by 1 game.
Yep.
And then we have a 2-game cushion until the 5 and 7 teams. So you and I are both saying if we just win one more game,
right, we
clinch a playoff spot.
Which is
with mediocre teams. Let's be honest. Neither one of us is that excited about our team this year.
No, not at all. But and here's my problem this week. If I don't do it this week, I am dead because next week I don't have Jonathan Taylor. I don't have my backup for him, Myles Gaskin. I don't have another guy I'm missing. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm screwed. I have to win this week.
That's not easy. Who do you
without
got?
without Devontae Adams.
Oh, gosh. Oh, that's right. The Packers are off this week.
Yeah.
I lost last week in dramatic fashion as I was tied going into the last night, and I had Heineke.
Right, which
and
you
the
said.
guy I was up against had Gibson, and Gibson had like more catches than he ever has.
Right.
And Heineke, didn't play badly actually, but he only got one touchdown pass, and I lost.
That's tough.
It was tough. So I would have been in first place had I won. I would have had the most points of the 8-4 teams. Instead, I sit in fifth.
You know what's amazing?
You and I are tied with Gino. We're 7-5, 7-5, 7-5. Your son is 8-4. He's up top. Right now, there's 3 teams that are 8-4. We have the Walrus, which is John, your son, and El Patron, which is Rick, and then you.
And I've beaten Rick. I've beaten El Patron twice.
He's only got 2 other losses.
I've dominated him, and those are 2 of his losses.
And then it's Gino, myself, and you. We're 4, 5, and 6. We have a 2-game lead. Now, this week, the matchups, I play the 7 seed. I play all in. You, on the other hand, play the 1 seed. You play Walrus. You play John this week.
Who I defeated in week number 1 or 2.
Early on. And I defeated all in, I think, in week 2 as well.
So everybody's defeating all in.
Well, he's got the most points in the league.
He doesn't have a bad
He just doesn't win. Everybody scores a lot of points against him.
And he plays the wrong guys.
He plays the wrong guys, and he still has the most points scored, I think, in the league.
And the most points scored on the bench in the league as well.
Oh, no doubt about it.
So
he's got 1,679 points. The next closest is Gino with 1,676. So he's only 3 points ahead of Gino. But he right now is on the outside looking in. But if he does tie somebody, he'll win with point differentiation.
Right. So that's something I got to look out for. If I win, I'm in.
Basically, all we need is both of us need to win 1.
Right. And
then at least we're playing with free money.
Right.
We're in the tournament. We'll see what happens.
That's right, baby. Speaking of winning money, because I went to the Giant game this week, so I was able to bet on a couple of games and stuff like that. Pretty much all my bets sucked. I lost pretty much every bet that I bought.
I loved the Giants this week, by the way. That was my best bet of the week.
And you were right. As much as they tried to lose the game, they couldn't do it.
Couldn't see the Eagles being a 4 or 3.5 point favorite on the road in a division rivalry. Just couldn't do it. I couldn't see it.
That's the only game that I won.
I didn't bet the Jets. I should have, but I didn't.
But for the Giant game, number one, I think maybe because it's the first game I really just sat and watched the whole thing of him. I think it proves what a crappy quarterback Jalen Hurts really is. He's got a horrible arm. He's not accurate. A lot of the passes were behind people, but it doesn't help that his receivers. Who's it? Was it Rieger at the end?
Jalen Rieger.
That ball, I couldn't see. I mean,
it went through his hands at the 1 yard line.
How do you not catch that ball?
There's no reason.
There's no reason.
He dropped 3 on the day. Now, Hurts still is not very good, but he wasn't helped.
And 2 on that drive by Rieger, which is just incredible. Why are you not going to Devontae Smith, your best receiver?
The Giants secondary isn't bad, though. They were covering them relatively well. But I get what you're saying. I guess they figured, listen. Let Rieger try to catch one.
It's Rieger. Let Rieger beat us. And he tried, but he proved the Giants right. But one of the things that I was freaking out about the most, they get the ball back. Then they're 3 and out. They actually lose 6 yards on the possession. Give the ball back to Jalen Hurts with no timeouts left, with like a minute 25 yet left on the clock. And the first couple of passes were out passes, and there was no Giant to be found. Every other defense clogs the ends and lets them, catch the ball in the middle. Not the Giants. They wanted to let that game go down to the last possible second where they can lose the game.
It was kind of funny also. I mean, you got to love the way they play the try to lose it and couldn't do it.
Right.
The offense didn't look much better without Jason Garrett.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Listen, whether you're a Garrett fan or you're not, Daniel Jones has a really hard time putting 2 halves of football together.
Right.
And to be honest, on Sunday, he didn't put one good half of football together.
But he also got hurt on the second play of the game.
He did. He had his neck hurt. But you know what? He practiced today. It's not like
but he's not. He's out. He's already out this week.
Well,
Glennon
he
is
practiced
definitely
in full today. I'm surprised that they named him out already.
That's what I've read. That Glennon is in, and Daniel Jones is out for sure this week.
Well, I didn't realize that because if you got him out there practicing, why are you having practicing then?
Well, maybe
you think Glennon would get all the reps? I'm just saying Glennon needs the reps.
Maybe Judge didn't get the injury report like a couple of weeks ago when he had the concussion, and he didn't get the report that he was practicing. So
how much longer does Joe Judge get this job? Is he done at the end of this year, along with your GM, or
nah? Just the GM's gone. Just the GM. He gets another year.
You think the new coaches want to keep somebody else's? The new GM's going to want to keep somebody else's coach. We'll see.
We're talking about the Maras. I think they're going to make them.
Yeah, probably.
So, anyway, so going on with football, your Jets.
We won.
Big win. It was an ugly win. Zach
to be
Wilson,
honest, we dominated the damn game, but it was only 20. We were down 14-3. We missed a couple of field goals because Amendola sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And the quarterback really just is not very good at this point in his career. But we'll see if he grows into something special or not. The offense was really humming, and then they brought back Wilson, and now we no longer hum.
Obviously, it's not as much of a care for you. It was exciting. That's why I was a little bit late popping on. We were watching Eli Riley's presser, the kid's first presser as an NFL player.
Kids played all right so far.
Yeah, he's now the starting safety. Not saying much because it is the New York Jets, but and from reading it, they're high on him.
The kid's playing well. He's in the right spots.
Right.
Listen, the other safeties are the ones that are really struggling out there. It's really not him so much.
And whenever my son was complaining, he goes, "Why do they keep taking him out on third down? They put in the other guy, and the other guy always gives up the touchdown."
Well, he gave up the touchdown on Sunday. He did.
Yeah.
He kind of slipped. He kind of had it was a zone. They played at the goal line. Guy caught it at the 3. Safety slipped, and receiver basically broke the tackle and basically walked in. Just kind of the way it works. Well, the Jets are on safeties, I think 5, 6, and 7 right now, but we'll see how it goes.
Right, that's not bad. Hey, it's better than the Mets GM, number 13.
Pretty much.
13th choice.
13th choice. Almost into the baker's dozen.
Yeah, and before we get into the game, one thing I thought was pretty interesting. I was looking through Roto World before, and I noticed a fine player that it must be tough getting through life. He's on the Kansas City Royals, Mr. Richard Lovelady.
You remember the Jets' old offensive? I think he was like an offensive. It wasn't the offensive line coach. It might have been a quarterback's coach. His name was Dick Curl. I always used to love that. I don't have the maturity to handle a guy named Dick Curl.
My son was telling me another player who just got released. His name is D Virgin.
D Virgin.
He's the Virgin. The Virgin.
Every team needs one.
And today it was in the news, I guess, that the Chinese tennis player, one of the guys from the IOC had a conversation with her, and he feels that she's safe and she's not being held under duress, and that is Mr. Dick Pounds.
Class.
So, and again, I'd be remiss if I didn't continue. In 6th grade, how do you get through class when your teacher's name is Dick Wiener?
You don't.
Swear to God. That was the hardest year ever.
I can't imagine it was easy because we're just not that mature.
Granted, for me, it was just a year. For him, it's a lifetime.
Dick Wiener. Did you guys call him Dick a lot? Did you do that? Did you mess around? Back then, we got in trouble. We got actually hit by our parents when we did stuff. Not like today, where kids walk through life and they talk to us like they're our friends, and we sit there and say, okay, because we're dumb enough to let them.
Right. Yeah, we respected our parents, unlike our kids now.
Yeah, our kids have no fear of us.
Not at all.
Totally different game. Totally. I mean, your boys are, you have a 15-year-old and I have a 15-year-old. Yeah. But you also have an adult.
Yeah, and he's just as dumb as the 15-year-old. So
yeah, pretty much. But I know you, Nick. I know who you are.
Yeah, I think are you over there, Nick? No, Maddie. Oh, that's Maddie. That's the other Stu Nod. So
and there we go. I had to lock the door, otherwise my 13-year-old will be in here right now shutting this thing down.
Fantastic. So anyway, Looking ahead to this week,
Full slate of games. A lot of big spreads this week. A lot of mismatches.